Well, let's take this apart. Well, there's some screws around the front perimeter, 3 on the bottom, 2 on each side, and there's 3 in the back, but they appear to be missing. Probably a little casualty of something. So we'll get you up here for a little closer look. Kind of getting a little gloomy out. It was such a beautiful day. It was actually kind of hot. That doesn't sound good. Oh, wonderful. What the hell? Appears that the light bulb fell out. It's kind of weird because I don't. Well, it's an extra light bulb or a replacement light bulb. Okay. Oh man. Set that over there. Put this over here. Bottom chassis is a real. The case, kind of the case, is a real dirt ball on that baby. Oh, this isn't too bad. Does this have another light in it, or just one light? This basically is an S40B with just a different slide rule type tuning on it. Remember, one of my rules is no slide rule radios, but I believe that was before the 1960s. This thing's pretty open. It's real nice. There's really only one chassis mounted filter cap right here. It's like somebody beat me to this baby a little bit. Maybe. That is a big resistor. Actually, the bottom of this thing is actually pretty decent shape. Yeah, that's kind of weird. There's a, I don't know if that's a filter cap or, well, it looks like a noise cap there, but it's a big mica. If you can see that. I suppose if I zoomed in, got off my big fat lazy butt. Power transformer. Out here in the sun, so it's tough to see the old viewfinder. This thing's got a handful of paper caps. The RF oscillator section's all kind of over here. It's kind of divided up, but it's nice because you can, I mean, you could actually get in there. You know, you could get to a few of those caps. No big deal. This baby's missing a knob and the Hallicrafter badge. Probably fell off. Somebody probably stuck it on their car hood or something stupid. Everything's really, I mean, it's really pretty open in here. This would be an excellent choice for somebody that was getting interested in radio, wanted a shortwave radio, wanted to recap it, or a little timid about doing it. This thing is kind of a slam dunk. Now, saying that and doing it are two different things, but and the wiring is, you know, a little stiff but not brittle. Thought there was, I don't know. There's a few cobwebs under here, nothing major. It doesn't look, actually it doesn't look like anybody's been in here and screwed with this thing. Which is weird. I thought that resistor was, these two resistors, I mean, no two resistors in here look like the same vintage. There's some of these big giant ones, that's a wire wound, there's a small carbon composite, there's another giant, I think that's a resistor. Weird. If it is, they've been sweating. Again, this would be a really great radio for somebody to start out at. I can't imagine this thing being very tough at all to align. It's got a few mica caps in it. Just a couple. There's a little surprise buried under there, but nothing major. The face would probably be easy to take off of this thing. If you wanted to do a little cosmetic work to it. I was trying to see up under there. Yeah, there's not anything. A lot of these, sometimes Hallicrafter has a nasty habit of hiding things under this little apron. Yeah, this baby's just been sitting minding its own business for a long time. Dual seal, the M-Con dual seal capacitor. Old capacitors are funny. They're Kind of like stuff you pour in your car engine. Everybody's got some gimmick. Overall, I'd say this thing's in pretty damn good shape. There's a little tiny bit of cracking on the power transformer, but it's very small. This thing is in actually very good shape. There's, oh, I don't know, what is there, about a dozen paper caps in here. There's one tucked under there. There's one there. That's what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's kind of a bear. 9, there's 2 here, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There maybe are 20 at the absolute most downhill with a breeze. Yeah, this would be a slam dunk for somebody new. A little annoyed that the tuning or the band switch knob is gone, but there's a lot of Hallicrafters floating around. I bet I can find one that's up on blocks somewhere. One of the, I think it's the bigger knobs is a little broke. The main knobs, the small knobs, have little chrome inserts in them. They look like they've seen better days, but I might be able to get in there real careful with some super fine steel wool. Clean them up. Actually, these caps on here really aren't in horrible shape. A lot of times when they get old, they start cracking open, they start pushing the guts out of them, but this one is not horrible. I might check a few voltages on this baby and see what this thing's about. It's obviously got some sort of, I think that might be a little cap there. There might be some caps. There's some weird resistors and stuff mixed in. This might have a filter cap, but one of these sections might be a bypass cap for the audio, which I think is over here. I think that had a, what did I say, that had a 6F6? Kind of a cousin to the 6L6. These caps. Oh, there's a couple others hid over here you can't really see. Thanks for making a lot of noise, you doofs. God. And that's a pretty big cap there. It's kind of buried in the... Ugh. That one's pretty gooey. When they start getting kind of slimy and gooey like that, I get a little concerned. I think what's happening is the moisture is getting mixed in. Don't you kids have some other place to be? Man! If it isn't wind or airplanes or, the FBI bothering me when I'm making videos, it's small children with buzzing bicycles. Lovely. I'll have to look up and see what these little mica caps are. There's maybe half a dozen. There's a couple there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one tucked under there. I don't know if you can see that one or not. Some of these are a little out of the way, but nothing some careful planning wouldn't take care of. All the... I already fixed one little thing on here. The bandpass cap, when I got toward the high end, toward the 9, 8, 9, and 10 numbers, it started crackling and making weird noises, and it seemed like the thing oscillator quit working. There's just one little slicer in there, one part of the cap, and it was shorted out. All I did was I stuck 3 pieces of paper in there and slowly changed, the tuning, and used those pieces of paper as a little wedge to kind of gently push that away. It just barely was touching. I could kind of squeeze the chassis and make it not. I don't know if it might have been dropped. It might have been that way since day one. This is something you could have built as a kit. It's so big. It's weird. What's that? Oh, it's got a speaker, external speaker connection. That's kind of interesting over here. And the antennas here, so this has got to be the antenna tuning stage. This is probably the RF, and this is probably the local oscillator. This is in sort of a rough, sketchy way, kind of like an All-American 5 on steroids. It's got, you know, a PTO, or not a PTO, excuse me, a BFO, and RF and an antenna stage, and you know, an actual high voltage transformer, and a few little. It's got an extra IF transformer in it. It's kind of interesting. There's some braided wire in some places. Right there is a little piece. There's a, I don't know, you can't see that one. There's one like right along here too. So it looks like, in a nutshell, that this is the child spawn of the R40. Things are getting cheapened up a little bit easier to work on for the worker bees, make it faster to put together maybe. Or this might have been another chassis with some holes not punched in it. Controls are getting a little simpler. You know, the BFO control is turned on and off with the short, or the CW. Doesn't really say BFO anymore. Very interesting. Well, I've obtained a schematic, found a couple of them. You can get one from the Boat Anchor manual site, although that's one of the Deja Vu ones. And I found another one that somebody had graciously put on the internet. Unfortunately, they didn't put their name on the website. They're just kind of, it's just kind of a generic website with stuff on it, so I can't give them credit for going to that trouble. It's kind of interesting. Some of these coils have a tuning or padding cap, and there's an actual coil, but they've been sealed with, looks like, wax. This thing is really in great shape. I'm glad I got this for 25 bucks. I guess having the chip on the knob, the badge missing, and one knob gone is kind of microscopic cosmetic stuff compared to the inside guts of the thing. And I'll have to retract my statement. If I acted kind of poorly when I said the guy said it worked, usually those guys, people at flea markets, you ask them some questions, they kind of don't tell you, or they yeah. I mean, the chances of me ever seeing this gentleman again are probably about nil. But maybe he decided that it would be, maybe he's just one of those people that tells the truth. And it does work. It works, I would say, pretty well. So again, I'm pretty happy to get it. So that's kind of living proof that you can get, you know, an inexpensive shortwave radio that's a good performer. So I'm gonna, you know, I've got 25 bucks in this. I've got, you know, probably a $5 in, well, I got a $5 in gas. I'd say, well, yeah, I don't know, that's fair to say. There's a $5 get in the door fee, but I got a raffle ticket that I missed a prize by one, which I'm not heartbroken about. And I gave the raffle ticket away to somebody else. At the end of the day, I left before the end of the day. Take it easy, children. My goodness. Screaming children and guys with air hammers. It's been a kind of a crummy day. So I got what, I guess technically, well, I bought some other stuff, so I don't, we'll just, for the err on the side of high, let's say 35 bucks. You know, I'm gonna have, I don't know, let's say another, you know, let's say another 20 in parts. So I've got, you know, I don't know, probably so far I put some caps in there, maybe about 60. But you've heard the thing run, and I've just been out here sitting in the tail into my pickup playing with the thing and been pretty pleased with it. I hooked it up to my I've got a mobile mount and a multi-band, you know, ham staff antenna. I just kind of clip leaded the thing onto. I didn't even ground it, and it really perked the thing up. And it'll be something that'll be fun to work on. So yeah, I'd recommend it if you get a hold of one of these. It looks in good shape. There's a UL Underwriter's Laboratory sticker on the back. I don't know, looks like a pretty fun receiver so far. A little dubious about the high end of this thing, but I'm not interested in the very high end of the thing. One of the things I could do is this face could come off, and it's kind of weird. There is some tape, like some old friction tape. Well, here, let me see if I can show it to you. You can see it's dirty, but it's, you know, it's been getting cleaned up while I've been in there, just kind of with my finger and some towels and stuff cleaning around. You can see that they kind of varnished over those stickers. I didn't notice that. What's that say? Somebody measured the transconductance of a rectifier tube. Okay. There's a little worn, I don't know what that is there. And I got a free extra bulb that appears to be no good. Okay. So somebody dropped it in there when they replaced it. The tubes, I believe, some of them have been replaced in here. We'll just do a little busy work here and kind of clean this baby up while I'm talking to you. It's always nice to get a hold of something that's just old and not beat. It's always kind of sad to get something that's just a train wreck, you know, but something that somebody's taking care of that's just kind of gotten old and tired and worn. It's, you know, not any big deal. Here's something I'll have to fix. The dial string's been replaced on that. See, it's just some white cotton string, and it's in bad shape. It's going to break here pretty soon. And there's some dirt in some corners and stuff. But, I don't know. What are you folks doing? The band spreader string is still in good shape. This thing has kind of a complex dial string arrangement. There's a lot of little wheels, and actually that one might be on wrong. I think that might go under, maybe. Yeah. Oh, that's original. Just kind of funny, that's the output tube. Hallicrafter 6K6. I thought it was 6G6. Yeah, what do we got here? It's probably a detector AGC. I think that was a Wizard brand. I think I showed you that already. That was branded for Western Auto. That was their brand. tuning cap. This is the one little patter for the band spreader. I shimmed that way a little bit. Like I said, I just laid some paper on there, wound the thing in, and it pushed it over just enough. That thing's none too. I think there's like a number of cylinders, brass cylinders, and they just close that all together and just pinch that thing. I don't even think it's really soldered. And I'm not going to screw with it. I don't think this thing's had a lot of hours on it. It seems in pretty damn good shape. It's a Delco tube. You just stuff whatever tubes you can get a hold of in there. It's got what looks like a little pitting on here, but I think it might just be dirt. Maybe a little, maybe a little bit of one of those scrubby pads or one of those Scotch-Brite pads would be okay. Don't use steel wool in these things. That steel wool flakes off and it'll leave a mess. It'll never stop, even though it sounds like a great idea. These IF cans, I think, are kind of susceptible to silver mica disease or migration disease. So be aware of that. It's in pretty good shape. Wonder what that cap is. I can't see it from this side. Let's not mount it where you can see it, although I suppose it doesn't matter. What is it? It's 3 sections, 10, 30, and 30. Or no, 10. It's 30 microfarad, 10 microfarad, and 10 microfarad at. Looks like they're all 450 volt. No, I thought there's like the D, the square, the triangle, and a bar, but one section isn't marked on this. Can something negative. I'm trying to see who made this. Illinois something. This cap could use a little careful TLC, but it's in pretty good shape. And amidst all my junk that I don't need another shortwave receiver, I actually don't have one of these. It's supposed to rain tonight. Just kind of hoping it wouldn't. One nice thing about these is the just FYI, the cap on this thing is mounted on some rubbers. There's one there, there's one there, and I think there's one like right about here. Yeah, right there. So just be aware of that. And what that stuff is, it is not coming off without a fight. It's kind of weird. There's some like sheet metal screws that just kind of poke up through the top. I think that's the walls for the RF. Huh, there it is, something. 19. Can't tell what that first part is. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's right there. See it? 1952 something. Looks like UCI. August maybe? Or I can't tell. UGI or... let me look at it a little closer here. October. So 52, huh? 52, 60. So baby's a little older than, what, about 60 years old? And I believe they built these kind of between 50, thank you, 1950 and 55. They had kind of a long run. They're pretty basic. They may have cheapened them up a little bit over time. Well, I think I'll let you scoot. I guess if you want, I can, when I start working on this, I'll put a link to the schematic to the PDF one, or I could be mean and put the Deja Vu one and let you figure it out. Man, there's a lot of, like, look like inspection marks, all these stamps. I can put the link down below so you can give this baby a look-see if you want. You can follow along a little bit. Maybe we'll run into some trouble. I don't really anticipate any. I just cursed myself. I mean, it looks like, I don't know, tough stuff. A few new caps, maybe check some resistors, a good alignment, new dial string, good cleaning. And a few cosmetic parts. There's that tape I was telling you about. What that is. Maybe the glass didn't fit tight and they shimmed it. Okie dokie. Well, we'll see you a little bit later. Thanks for kind of wandering by. Take her easy.